I'm Do You Know Cosplay?
I'm the Starlight Fairy Cosplay.
I'm Small Fry Creations.
And two of you are judges on the panel for here at MCM, which, if you'd like to introduce yourselves.
Yep, we judged yesterday. The judges do change on a regular basis, so
Okay.
we won't always be here, but
Right.
we were lucky enough to judge yesterday.
Oh, okay. So what do you kind of look for when you judge?
It's a really difficult process.
I bet it is.
So there's so many wonderful costumes, and everything's completely different, from sewing to foam to armor.
Yeah.
So people come up and they show us their favorite bits, what they've made, what they're going to do on stage. It's all about judging everybody fairly and just taking the time to consider everybody. So you normally, if you meet the judges, you get a couple of minutes and you tell us everything you want us to know, and we take a good look at everything and ask lots of questions. And
it's a lot harder.
Yeah, it's really hard, and everyone always puts us in awe because I'm like, how on earth have you done this?
It's very impressive work.
It's so impressive.
So do you really look for the detail involved in a costume, or do you kind of like a bit of being a bit loose when they make a costume?
It's whatever you want. So it's your reference you give us. So if you design your own design and you bring it over, that's what we'll look at. If you come and you hand me a photo of the character from your favorite film and you say, I've made this is what we go against. So it doesn't matter what you've decided to do, it's what you've decided to show us.
Yeah.
So if you want to be that Pokemon as a human, or you want to be the female version of Cloud, then go ahead and do it.
Wow. So yeah, obviously I've been doing Comic Cons for a bit of time now, and to be quite fair to you, every time I come to a different con, the game just seems to be upped and upped. So we're talking to Trina and Bryce, and I said to them as well, and even they say it, every time they come to a different con, people just seem to be pulling out the punches. So have you got any favourites that you see around con at this precise moment, or just in general?
Usually I go, wow, I like that, and then 10 minutes later I go, okay, that's my favourite.
Yeah.
And then it changes every 10 minutes because it's so impressive.
Yeah.
My absolute favourite is seeing the kids.
Yeah.
I love seeing the kids because they absolutely adore being their favourite characters. And you call them Princess Elsa, you smile at them, you're like, I love your Batgirl because they look so epic.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel like part of the community because it's just such great fun.
Oh yeah, it is a massive community as well.
Yeah. And everybody's really friendly.
Yeah. So do you do like workshops and stuff like that? Is there that kind of thing outside of con or inside of con?
I have done workshops.
Yeah, I've
done
done
as well.
workshop panels, that sort of thing. Yeah.
We all have different skills. So I do a lot of sewing and a lot of armor. You do a lot of puppetry work.
Yeah, I do a lot of
which is
phone-based
completely
stuff.
over my head.
Oh, okay.
So it all depends on what you want to do. So a lot of it is people message us and we help because we want to help. Almost every cosplayer I've ever met will tell you the intimate most secrets of costume making if you ask them, because they're like, oh my god, you want to do this costume? Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do that.
Yeah. Like none of us could ever be magicians because we're all just like, look at this thing I have done.
Yeah,
Let me show you how to do the thing.
We'd be terrible at keeping a secret. Like, you want to know that trick? Sure, I'll give you the schematics
Yeah.
and all the pieces.
The best thing is like if say I struggle with making like something fabric based, I could go to Alice and go, hey, can you help me? And if Alice has anything problems with foam, we just sort of come together.
Yeah, it's great, and we'll go visit because a lot of us aren't local, so we'll travel up and down the country, spend a weekend drinking tea and making these massive props that we've then somehow got.
Yeah.
Like a 4-foot tree.
Like a 4-foot tree, yes. A winner yesterday had a 4-foot tree.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And a paintbrush.
And a paintbrush.
A magic paintbrush, may we add.
Yes.
Like it. So what's the most intricate, say, prop or costume you've all made that you've kind of stood back from, just gone, yeah, I made that. That is awesome.
I think mine is a paintbrush I made for a Tales of character a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It's as tall as I am, and I used wig wefts to make the paintbrush itself, and then the rest of it's just a pole from B&Q, but whenever I bring it out, I'm just like, it's a me-sized paintbrush.
I've got a couple of giant swords and a massive hammer that's about 6 foot tall. I'm pretty proud of that. But my favourite thing's probably the skirt because there's like 3,000 appliques and thousands of gems on it and lots of crying.
I think my favourite thing has got to be the puppets, just because they're so fun to build and seeing the reaction of people.
Yeah.
So I think the puppets, Pokemon more recently.
Hannah makes some absolutely giant puppets. Like I'm talking, these things are massive. You've probably seen Gyarados flying around
Fishy.
Oh yeah.
Fishy.
Oh, fishy. Is that handmade as well, or is that just
no,
what?
this is just a plush. Yeah.
This is the we're helping out push.
Oh, is
yeah,
it?
I can't bring Fishy to help. He'd be too big.
Good at scaring children, but not much else.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
So you was the winner yesterday.
I was.
The
yes.
overall winner. So what did you two guys... Round of applause for the overall winner yesterday.
Woo!
What did you guys see with her costume that you was kind of like that? I really like that. That's on point.
Yeah.
Honestly, so I'm a big fan of sewing, and don't get embarrassed here. It's got so many amazing techniques in it. The skirt was horsehair braided to give it a really lovely wave, full of pleats, a 7-layer petticoat, this amazing apron, this really big stiff bow because it's sort of like a floppy bow, this great prop, which I'm not going to spoil because she can tell you about herself, but most of all, she'd hand sewed it all.
That's the thing.
Hand sewn every single
hand
bit.
sews every single thing.
I have a lot of spare time.
I hate hand sewn at the best of times, but it's like when I seen it and it was like, yeah, I had sewn this. I was like, what?
Oh, no, sorry, I've just realised I missed my favourite point. She was Alice in Wonderland, just to point it out.
Yeah.
And she had rabbit lining in her dress. Like rabbit
Really?
pattern lining, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is a genius afterthought, and I love it.
It kept it in the theme.
Yeah.
I always find that like dress linings, like you can buy in fabric shops, tend to be quite sort of papery, and they feel a bit horrible on your skin after a long day at a con, and everyone's a bit ugh. But like I use craft cottons as my linings, so I thought it's Alice in Wonderland, let's get a white rabbit. It's so much comfier.
Did you all go for material, like the best material you can get your hands on at that time, or do you kind of have to go, well, I'm on a budget, I need to get what's in my budget?
I've been guilty of both. So I made a dress out of very, very grossly expensive bridal satin. It's white. Every time I wear it, a little bit of me dies because it will never be white again.
Oh, no.
But then on this one, it's made of like really cheap cottons and satins at like £2-3 a metre, and it's the complete opposite. And I'm like, yeah, I'll sit on the floor, that's fine.
I've been guilty of two, both as well, but it's more the case of like, I try and look for sources that can make it a little bit cheaper. Like one of the costumes I've made is made of camping mat and leather.
Yeah.
So easy to source materials.
Yourself?
I have to admit, I do, if there's a fabric I really, really like, I will splash out on that, but then try and cut back on everything else. It's like the rabbit lining yesterday was quite expensive, but then the stuff I used for the apron was on sale, so I was like, woohoo!
Sales are the best thing in the world. If you ever go to a fabric store when there's a sale on, you'll probably spot at least 25 cosplayers. They'll be the ones with the full trolleys.
Really? So what's the most expensive costume you've ever made that sits pride of place in that wardrobe or somewhere that you've made?
Oh God, I'm already dreading it. My armoured Ariel was the first time I ever used this material called Warbler, which is like a plastic.
Yeah.
The cost of this this plastic is not cheap, and me not knowing what I was doing used sheets upon sheets upon sheets of it.
Oh.
I've only worn it twice because it's incredibly painful to wear. So it sits on a mannequin, and it's the most expensive thing I've ever put on a mannequin, and I'm like, don't think about it.
No.
It did not cost those hundreds of pounds you knew it cost.
Oh no.
I think mine was probably a cosplay of Terra Branford from Final Fantasy VI, but I based it off the artwork of Yoshitaka Amano, and so it was all very frilly chiffons, and I bought over 100 all of art.
I'm gonna stop. Did you magical stuff to be I did a house, so that was pretty cool. I've never felt so badass in my life.